Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
O'Reilly. Shop Superstart Premium, Extreme, or Platinum batteries at O'Reilly Auto Parts and get up to a $15 gift card after rebate. O-Reward members can also get a $5 reward with their battery purchase. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstart. Only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're listening to LSU Daily with Matt Musso, your home for all things LSU sports.
Off and running here on another edition of LSU Daily. Welcome in and glad to have you along for the ride today. We will dive back into some LSU baseball conversation, give you a brief preview on the catcher position, one that still very much needs to be settled as LSU heads into their final scrimmage weekend of preseason camp. Super Bowl week rolls on. LSU has been well represented, and certainly they were a night ago at the NFL Honors, taking home multiple trophies, multiple awards, and having guys finish not far behind the eventual winners as well. So we'll give you a roundup of that too. Be sure to subscribe, share, like. Anywhere you get your podcasts, we're there. Search LSU Daily. Follow me on social media as well. Twitter X at Musso Matthew. You can find me on Facebook. Of course, on Instagram at Matthew Musso1. All of that is greatly appreciated. And you know what? Let's go ahead and dive right in. And we'll start actually with the NFL Honors. And we will start with Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels takes home Offensive Rookie of the Year. Not a huge surprise, quite honestly. Daniels was the favorite for this award much of the season, and just the longer he played, the clearer it was going to be that he was going to win it. And in fact, he won it, and he won it in a landslide. Daniels received 49 of 50 first-place votes. That's 495 points. Brock Bowers finishing second, getting the other first-place vote in just 214 points. For what it's worth, Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors also up for Offensive Rookie of the Year here in the 2024 season. Thomas finished fourth, and Malik Neighbors finished fifth. So LSU well represented in that category, but obviously Jayden Daniels takes it home, and he should have. Jayden Daniels had one of, if not the best rookie season in NFL history. That is a point that you can make a pretty valid argument for. I mean, just look at what he did for the Commanders franchise. Daniels is proof that when you get the right quarterback in there, some new ownership, or, kind of a redo of the front office as well with that new ownership, and the right coaches, you can turn it around quickly. I mean, it can happen fast. It's much easier said than done, but it can happen fast. Jayden Daniels in his rookie season took the Washington Commanders to their first NFC Championship game since 1991. That is in no way did anyone have that thought, like that was possible when Jayden Daniels was taken by the Commanders back in April. They won 14 games, including the playoffs, with Daniels at quarterback. That ties him for the most wins by a rookie quarterback, including the postseason, in NFL history. Ties him with Ben Roethlisberger, who also had the 14 in 2004 with the Steelers. Joe Flacco, Brock Purdy, Mark Sanchez, those are the only other quarterbacks to win multiple playoff games as a rookie. That is very, very good company for Joe Burrow. We're going to get to Joe Burrow, for Jayden Daniels to be in. Roethlisberger won a Super Bowl. Flacco won a Super Bowl. Purdy has played in the Super Bowl. And Mark Sanchez got to 2 AFC championship games. That's the company that he stepped into in his first season. In terms of what he did in NFL history, well, he rewrote some records there too. Jayden Daniels at 69% had the highest completion percentage by a qualified rookie quarterback in NFL history, ever. Alone, number one, Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels had the most rushing yards, 891, by a rookie quarterback in NFL history, period, ever, number one. For what it's worth, the quarterback that Daniels gets comped to time and time again, constantly, you know the answer, it's Lamar Jackson. And Lamar Jackson is very much seen as the best dual-threat quarterback in the NFL right now. His rookie season in 2018, he played in all 16 games. Only 7 starts, so that is a caveat, but he played in all 16 games. Ran for 695 yards. The passer rating for Jayden Daniels, 100.1. That is the 4th highest passer rating by a qualified rookie quarterback all time. He threw for 3,568 yards and 25 touchdowns. Jayden Daniels went from Arizona State, where he had a fantastic freshman season, upsetting a top 5 Oregon team that year, to a couple of lean years, transferring to LSU, being hesitant to take risk and throw the ball down the field, to a Heisman Trophy winner, to the number 2 overall pick in the draft, to rewriting NFL record books, to the NFC Championship, and to changing the hopes and expectations and dreams of an NFL franchise all in his first season. Incredible. Just an awesome rookie year. One of the greatest, if not the greatest all time in NFL history. And one that sets the stage for a great second season. You continue to wish Jayden Daniels health and success as he continues along in his NFL career. He's forever linked to LSU. He's forever ours here in Baton Rouge. And you couldn't have asked for a better debut. Jayden Daniels, Offensive Rookie of the Year, first Washington player to win the award since Robert Griffin III did so in 2012. Congratulations to Jayden Daniels. LSU was not done at the NFL honors. Of course, Joey B taking home some hardware as well. Not the trophy that he wanted, obviously, with MVP, where he was up for that award. That obviously went to Josh Allen, and Josh Allen is a deserving winner. But Joe Burrow, statistically, was the best quarterback in the NFL in 2024. And that's coming off of a wrist injury. Joe Burrow takes home Comeback Player of the Year. Again, wrist injury, missed most of 2023 because of that, and returned just in dominance. Led the league in passing, 4,918 yards. Led the league in passing touchdowns, 43. And was third in total QBR, 74.7. If the Cincinnati Bengals had a better defense, Joe Burrow might have taken home MVP this weekend en route to playing in his second Super Bowl and a chance to win his first Lombardi trophy. That's the level that the Bengals offense played to under Joe Burrow in 2024. And look, they have some stuff to figure out, obviously, with contracts, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, all of those things offensively, that they seem pretty confident that they're going to get done. And they've obviously made changes on the defensive side of the ball as well when it comes to the coaching staff. what Joe Burrow showed the Bengals this season is he's back, and he's ready to go, and he's back to the very top of his game. Your window is open, but you have to start taking advantage of it a little bit more. That's going to come down to some key additions and, retention in the offseason, as well as finally getting off to a better start if you're the Cincinnati Bengals. I did not actually intend to break down Cincinnati Bengals football here in this segment, but it kind of just went there. So, hey, look, a fantastic year from Joe Burrow, and that resulted obviously in a fantastic year for Jamar Chase. And in any other season where Saquon Barkley doesn't run for 2,000 yards, Jamar Chase has one heck of a chance to win Offensive Player of the Year. It just did not come to fruition. For what it's worth, Joe Burrow, this is the second time he has won Comeback Player of the Year. You remember he won it in 2021 after recovering from the knee injury that cost him his rookie season.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
He joins Chad Pennington as the only two-time winners of the award since 1998. Joe Burrow said, quote, "It's not the award you want to be up for, but if you're in contention, you might as well win it." And Joe Burrow did indeed win it once again. Your comeback player of the year in the NFL, Cincinnati Bengals and former LSU quarterback, Joey B. Joe Burrow, the GOAT. So congratulations to him and Jayden Daniels. Congratulations to all the other LSU players up for awards. They all had fantastic seasons. I mean, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase were both up, for awards. And again, as we said, Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas. So congratulations to all those guys. Fantastic showing in the NFL for the former LSU guys this season. All right, let's switch gears. LSU baseball before we get out of here. Tigers a week away from opening day. They'll open up the season against Purdue Fort Wayne at the Box. That's a 2 p.m. first pitch on Valentine's Day. We've kind of this week taken a peek at some of the, the biggest position battles still raging for LSU. Went through the infield, went through the outfield. Today I want to focus in on catcher because for me, catcher is the most unsettled position remaining. When we went through infield, it says, all right, this seems a little solidified right here, but you're kind of picking it at this spot. Okay, the outfield, you feel like you have 2 of the 3 spots established, but who's competing for the 4th? Catcher feels very unsettled still for LSU. They're breaking in 4 new guys, I should say. Like, remember, Alex Milazzo, out of eligibility. Hayden Travinski, out of eligibility. Brady Neal said he was coming back, then entered the transfer portal. He's at Alabama now. That was the 3 you had. You're breaking in 4 new guys. You're also breaking in a new pitching staff. There's a lot of new faces on the mound for LSU. Sure, there's some familiar ones. Cade Anderson, Gavin Guidry, right? But, I wouldn't even call Chase Shores a familiar face because he's thrown 18 innings so far in his college career. That's it. None of those with these catchers, right? So, Nate Yeske, actually LSU's pitching coach, was asked about that when he met with the media a week ago and kind of likened it to, a new center with the quarterback or a new offensive line with the quarterback, just kind of going through those growing pains. And LSU's doing so right now. But of the 4, where do you stand? Well, look, let's start with Cade Arrambide because Cade Arrambide is the guy that every LSU, he's the first guy they mention every time. And it's easy to see why. The upside is tremendous. Cade Arrambide was the number 1 ranked high school catcher by MLB.com in their 2024 draft rankings. So for last July's draft, you got that kid to campus. That's a huge coup. And he fills out the uniform great. He looks the part, 6'3", 205. He is every bit of that as a freshman. And the bat has wowed. Cade Arrambide hit 360 in the fall, and here in the winter and preseason scrimmages, he has still been by far, in my opinion, from what I've seen, the best offensive option for LSU at catcher. He's got an absolute cannon of an arm behind home plate. that he has no problem trusting. The one drawback, the but, is the ball has gotten through him a lot in the preseason. It just has. The ball has gone to the backstop a lot, and in multiple different ways. Some of them not preventable because the pitcher was just really wild and it got away from him. It hits 55 feet in front of the plate. You're not blocking that. Others, they've glanced off his glove and gone to the backstop. Others have just gone through his legs or ricocheted off. It's just been a bit of an adventure. Some he's kept close enough in front of him, but LSU's just really aggressive on the base paths right now, and that's something to be excited about actually going forward into the season, that they've been able to take the base anyway because he hadn't necessarily been able to get to it quick enough or find the ball or things like that. That has been a drawback, and I am very curious if that's enough to keep him out of the opening day lineup. And I think that it might be. Not to say you won't see him on opening weekend. You will, because this position is not going to be settled here over the last weekend. It's going to take some time. But Aaron Beatty has the best upside. He is set for a bright future and a great career at LSU. The defense behind the plate is concerning me a little because it's not just the balls to the backstop. He threw a ball into center field trying to nail a runner on Sunday. That was an error. He also airmailed a ball on a bunt down to first base. That was an error. So like I said, he's got a cannon of an arm, and he's not afraid to show it off. But what he needs to kind of maybe work on a little bit more is situationally, right? And you've already seen some of that develop. In that same Sunday scrimmage, there's a ball that kind of kicked away from him a little bit, but he hopped out of the crouch, grabbed it, went to go fire to third base because the runner from second took off, and he put it in his pocket. He wasn't going to get it, didn't want to risk throwing the ball away and allowing a run to score coming from second to third, right? And you could hear the whole dugout yelling, "Eat it," and he did. That is growth. So that's why I'm saying, like, it might not be immediate for Cade Aaron Beatty, but at some point, it would not surprise me at all if that guy is LSU starting catcher. I just don't know if it's right now opening day because of some of the defensive lapses, we'll call them, from the position right now, and catcher has to be a premium defensive position. Luis Hernandez. We've talked plenty about Luis Hernandez here on the show. Transfer from Indiana State, big power bat, Puerto Rican national team member. They're kind of easing him back into catching. He didn't catch much at Indiana State a year ago, but hit over 300, well over 300 actually, over 350. Had 23 homers and 70-plus RBI. He is the bat. You want to see how the bat translates. The thing I would tell you about Luis Hernandez is it's kind of an odd, you kind of haven't noticed him very much, which isn't a bad thing, especially at the catcher position. But he also hasn't done anything to kind of like flash. He's kind of just been there. And I know that sounds bad. I don't mean it that way. Like, I don't mean that as a shot. He's been just very steady Eddie. I mean, there's been a few balls get through him. I haven't seen him get a hit yet, but he still had very productive outs. And just at bats, walks, RBI groundouts, sac flies that drive in runs, things of that nature. He's still been productive, even without the ball finding the outfield grass or, getting through the infield or going over the fence. So I think he's very much in this race. It just hasn't been necessarily the flash that you've seen from an Aaron Beatty at the plate, or even Blaze Priester back in the fall at the plate, things of that nature. And, I mean, what I would say defensively is it's been pretty good. Then there's Blaze Priester. That's a guy we're all very familiar with, right? I mean, Priester prepped at Live Oak, started his career at LSU in 2022, did not see the field, transferred to Meridian Junior College, spent 2 seasons there, and now is back at LSU. Led LSU in the fall in home runs with 7, hit 360 in the fall. Caveat there is right now the bat's in a bit of a struggle. Twice over the weekend, saw Priester. He went 0 for 6 with 6 punch-outs. That's not ideal. But I will also say, from what I've seen from the catchers, Blaze Priester has played the best defense behind the plate as a whole. He's pretty athletic back there. He made a play on, I believe it was on Saturday, a week ago Saturday, that there was runners at second and third and one out. LSU tries a squeeze bunt. They get it down. The runner breaks from third, but it didn't get far enough really away from the plate. It kind of went up the third base line a little bit. Priester jumps out of his crouch, grabs it, swipe tags the runner on the way by, spins, checks first, knows he can't get the hitter who bunted, spins back around to third. Chris Stanfield was on second, never stopped, slipped coming around third base. Priester fires down to third after checking first. I mean, this is all in one sequence. They get Stanfield caught in a rundown, and they end up with an inning double play. Also, on Saturday, again, I'd have to go back and check through my notes, but I do not recall a ball getting through Priester behind the plate to the backstop. Sunday, he had maybe one, but the defense from him has been the best that I've seen from the catchers. Eddie Yaman has been back there, transfer from Dayton, had only caught twice in 2 seasons at Dayton. The rest of the time for him had been spent at first, DH, and right field. LSU has him officially listed as first base catcher, and in the scrimmages, I've seen him at catcher. That being said, the at-bats are not as plentiful. He's not starting games at catcher, so the innings are not nearly as plentiful. It feels he's very much running fourth in this competition right now. There's other ways he could end up impacting this team, specifically with his bat. He was a guy who hit over 300 with 14 homers a season ago at Dayton. So, I mean, there is a path to the field for him, but right now it does not feel like it is at catcher. If you're giving me the lineup card, like, here's the deal. I don't really know what direction LSU is going to go because it feels like this competition is still very wide open and will be right up until Jay has to fill up the lineup card on opening day. If you're giving me the lineup card right now, say you got to fill this out for opening day from what you've seen, I'm starting Blaze Priester. I know the offense hasn't necessarily been there as consistently in the winter leading up to the season as it was in the fall, but that's a guy who has proven to hit the baseball at the junior college level and in his first taste of D1 ball as well, and in the SEC, and we all think LSU's got a pretty talented pitching staff. So I'm willing to wait and see how that comes about, and catcher is a premium defensive position. It's one of the spots on the field where you will give a little in the offensive category for a glove behind the plate because runs saved are so, so important. That's what I'm doing if I'm in charge of the lineup card for opening day. On Saturday, when LSU plays Game 2 against Purdue-Fort Wayne, February 15th, you could very well see somebody else behind the plate. It wouldn't surprise me. You could see them interchange in the game, and it wouldn't surprise me. So, for me, that is still their most unsettled position. It is very much up in the air. But we will see. We will see how LSU goes about it here over the last weekend of scrimmages, and then, of course, throughout the week leading up to game week, and then when they open up the regular season, a week from today. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up here for today. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, follow me on social media. All that is greatly appreciated. And be here next time for more on LSU Daily.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.